they will focus on these kind of things. So we'll discuss about all these relevant areas in terms of the IR. Okay. So first, you have to understand that this is not only the mains related subject, it is both prelims, mains and the interview related subject. Okay. In prelims, you know that every year, you know, like around 3 or 4 questions, sometimes even 5 questions are also asking from the IR, and it depends on, it based on even sometimes map pointing as well. For example, so 2023, I think so, yes, in 2023, they asked one question. The question is about the which countries are sharing, you know, like boundary with the Black Sea. Okay, the reason behind asking that question at that time, just, you know, like Ukraine and Russia war was started, and obviously this war was around the Black Sea. You know that Ukraine is having a territory called as Crimea. It was occupied by the Russia. Because of that, Russia expelled out of the G8. G8 became the G7, and all these things. Those things happened in 2023 at that time. So they asked that question. Okay. Now they may ask you, you know, like which of the countries sharing border with the Mediterranean Sea? Because now Israel and Palestine is having some issues. Yes or no? Hamas attacked the Israel, and in Israel, you know, like that Gaza Strip and West Bank, they are in news. They may ask you which countries are sharing border with the Mediterranean Sea. Mediterranean Sea border countries ఏమున్నాయని అడగొచ్చు మిమ్మల్ని. Okay. So this is how your approach should be. Okay. Now first we'll go through the syllabus. So what they included. Then we'll discuss about terminology. Okay. In today's class as well as tomorrow, half of the class, we are going to discuss about the terminology. Important words related to IR. Like, you know, what is the meaning of diplomacy? What is the meaning of Cold War? Have you heard about the word Cold War? What do you mean Cold War? War in winter? Internal war. That is a civil war, yeah? Isn't it? War within the country, civil war. Is anyone from non-Telugu states? You are from Karnataka. Any other? Only one. Rest of the people are from Telugu states, AP and Telangana. So now tell me, what do you mean Cold War? Cold War means what?
And it's not physical, but indirectly, or we're having rival between our two countries.
Which countries?
For example, Pakistan and India, we don't have war for now, but we both are enemies. And
We had war, yeah, 1948.
now, sir, I'm talking about this.
So now we are not having war with any country.
Yes, but
So can we say India, China is having Cold War?
yes, sir.
India, Maldives? So Cold War means you should always refer, Cold War means the rivalry between the USA and USSR. Okay, we use the Cold War word only for the rivalry between the USA and USSR. The rivalry was stopped in 1991 when USSR was disintegrated. You know that Soviet Union, Soviet Union was disintegrated in 1991. Okay, we'll discuss about that. So Cold War, the word Cold War always we use to denote the rivalry between the USA and USSR after World War II till 1991. The time between the World War II and 1991, that was about the Cold War duration. Okay, students. First, we'll go through the syllabus. Syllabus of the IR, what they included in your syllabus copy. And if you have a syllabus copy, you can go through it. It may be the soft copy or hard copy. Then we'll start with the important words, terminology. Okay. Now, first we start with the India and its neighborhood. India and its neighborhood. Please follow the syllabus copy. Okay. In syllabus copy, you will find the IR in General Studies paper 2. You know that, yeah? In GS paper 1, what are the subjects? Paper 2, paper 3, paper 4. Do you know that? Okay. Tell me, GS paper 1 includes what? What's your name? Tirumala? Sri. Where you are from, Sri?
I'm from Visakhapatnam.
So tell me, GS paper 1, what subjects you include? I mean, they included. Idea on that?
No, the last month
లాస్ట్ మంత్ మీరు రాలేదు, అప్పుడే వచ్చారు. ఓకే, చాలా మంచి నుంచి ఉన్న వాళ్ళు ఎవరు చెప్పండి. సో వాట్స్ యువర్ నేమ్? మీకు అప్పుడెప్పుడు పాలిటీ చెప్పినట్టు గుర్తు కదా. మీ పేరేంటమ్మా? పూజిత. యా, టెల్ మీ పూజిత. హిస్టరీ, జియోగ్రఫీ, వరల్డ్ జియోగ్రఫీ, కల్చర్, అంతే. హెరిటేజ్ అండ్ కల్చర్. దాని తర్వాత సోషల్ ఇష్యూస్ ఉన్నాయి కదండి. మన 110 మార్క్స్ వచ్చినాయి 250లో. అవుట్ ఆఫ్ 250, 110 మార్క్స్ కేమ్ ఫ్రమ్ ద సోషల్ ఇష్యూస్ ఓన్లీ. యా. జిఎస్ పేపర్ 2లో ఏముంటాయి? పాలిటీ, గవర్నెన్స్, ఐఆర్ అండ్ సోషల్ జస్టిస్. జిఎస్ 3 ఎకానమీ, అగ్రికల్చర్, సైన్స్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ, environment, internal security, disaster management. You should know about these things first. That means we are discussing IR. That means which subject, which paper we are dealing with? Paper 2, GS paper 2. Now please go through the syllabus. The first line they included here, India and its neighborhoods. That is about the India relation with the neighboring countries. That means obviously here we will discuss about India relation with the Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka and Maldives. Actually Sri Lanka and Maldives, they are the maritime neighbors. That means they are neighbors through which we are sharing the ocean border, okay, or sea border. Whereas rest of the countries like Pakistan and China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, with these we are sharing the land border. Okay, of course with Afghanistan also we used to share the land border because of the POK. They occupied, Pakistan occupied Kashmir, because of that now we are not sharing the border with Afghanistan. Otherwise the border with Afghanistan is the Durand line. Durand line is a border between the India and Afghanistan. So the first focus is between the India and neighboring countries. Okay, you know students, what is happening in our neighboring country matters a lot in India as well. Okay, that is the reason guys. Did anyone write recently concluded group 2 exam in Telangana? No one. So in recently concluded group 2 exam they asked about, the question is like this. Recently, you know, like Sri Lankan president newly elected, so which party he is representing? That is what the question. Okay, there the examiner try to check your knowledge about our neighboring countries. Okay, you have to know what is happening in our neighboring countries. Tell me guys, what is happening in Bangladesh? What is your name? Praveen Kumar. Where you are from? Ekkada? Vikarabad. Tell me. Praveen Kumar from Vikarabad. Tell me. Bangladesh ఏం జరుగుతుంది అసలు ఇప్పుడు? ఏమైనా ఐడియా ఉందా? హిందూస్ పైన అటాక్ జరుగుతుంది. టెంపుల్స్ అని కూల్చేస్తున్నారు. Can anyone raise your hand and tell me what is happening in Bangladesh? మీకు తెలిసింది చెప్పండి, నచ్చింది కాదు. So whatever you know, please let me know guys. Okay, what's your name? Lokpal. Where you are from? Lokpal? Maharashtra. Can you understand Telugu? Yes. Do you have any friends like Lokayukta also? No? Okay, you are Lokpal.
Yes, I'm local. I hail from Maharashtra.
Okay.
I have been here for some years.
Do you have any friends like anyone with the Lokayukta? No. Yeah, tell me. So what happened in Bangladesh? Lokpal?
Regime change in Bangladesh.
Regime change from where to where? I mean, from what form to what form? Yes. Fine. Next. Okay. Who is leading the interim government? Okay. What is his specialty? Very good. Okay. He got Nobel Prize in Economics for what? Contribution?
Cooperative banking.
Microfinance. Yes. Yes. Very good. Continue. That's it. Like what Lokpal is observed. So the thing is, all these kind of atrocities, attacks are happening in Bangladesh. Why? When there is a failure of democracy. When democracy fails, these kind of things will happen. Okay? Within the country, people attack against each other. That condition is known as civil war. Even we witnessed the civil war in Syria as well in the recent past. Syria, Myanmar, in the past even the Sri Lanka as well. Tamilians and Sinhalese, they attack against each other. Tamilians formed one organization also known as LTTE. Do you remember that? Okay? As Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam. So you can understand and you should appreciate the strength of democracy. And we have to know what forms of governments are going in our neighboring countries and what are the recent updates about that. Okay? Any regime change and how it impacts India. Previously, Maldives, you know, like 1 year back, Maldives were very aggressive against India. Even they campaigned for India out campaign. I will tell, if you don't know about all these things, I will explain. But now Maldives became somewhat amicable to India. We are helping to Maldives. Okay? We are helping to our neighbors unconditionally. That means without expecting any return help. That is known as Gujarat Doctrine. We'll discuss about the Gujarat Doctrine, what does it mean and all these things. So this is about the first, you know, like line they given in the syllabus copy, that is India and its neighborhoods. That is India relation with its neighboring countries. And remember, any major development happens in our neighboring country, definitely it will impact India. Okay? It may be our maritime neighbors like Maldives and Sri Lanka, or it may be our land-based neighbors like Nepal, Bhutan and all these things. Recently, Bhutan king visited to India. Okay? So any developments? What are the observations? Current affairs chadvara? Bhutan king వచ్చారు recent India idea ఉందా? Yes, what they discussed. So forget about that. Indian Prime Minister went to West Asia. He went to which country? Kuwait. Okay. What are the major discussions happening? Cultural exchange. What does it mean? We'll celebrate their festival, they will celebrate our festivals. Yeah, one part is like that. People to people means what? Yes. If any migration issues and improving the tourism between the two countries and all these things. Okay. We'll discuss what is the meaning of the people to people. Ivanni kuda మనం discuss చేద్దాం one by one. Don't worry about that. So this is about the first one. Second is about syllabus లో ఇచ్చారు bilateral, regional, global groupings and how it is affecting India. So here bilateral means involving two countries. Bilateral anna sare, bipolar anna, always two. But the difference is there between the bilateral and bipolar. I will tell you. Bilateral discussion. For example, India and Qatar, bilateral discussions. Recently, India and Bhutan, bilateral discussions. Okay. Here we are going to discuss about the bilateral relation between the India and other countries. Regional grouping. Regional groupings is all about the group of countries within a region. Like SAARC. SAARC is a like group of countries which are present in the South Asia. Yes or no? How many member countries are there in SAARC? 15. Exactly. What's your name? Vikas. Where are you from, Vikas? You are from Vizag. You are from also Vizag? No, Hyderabad. Where in Hyderabad? Miyapur. 15 అన్న ఎగ్జాక్ట్ ఎలా చెప్పారు? ఐ మీన్ హౌ యూ గాట్ దట్ థాట్? జస్ట్ విన్నట్టు అనిపించింది ఎక్కడన్నా చదివినట్ట. సో సార్క్ 15 కాదండి 8. ఓకే, విల్ డిస్కస్ అబౌట్ రిగార్డింగ్ ఫర్దర్ డీటెయిల్స్. బట్ వెరీ గుడ్ పార్టిసిపేషన్. క్లాసులు ఎప్పుడైనా సరే రైటో రాంగో కానీ ట్రై టు పార్టిసిపేట్ ఇన్ ద క్లాస్. ఎందుకంటే మన క్లాస్ 2 to 4 కాబట్టి. సో ఇఫ్ యూ డోంట్ పార్టిసిపేట్ మచ్ the class looks so drowsy, isn't it? So I expect a lot of active participation from you. What is a Lokpal? Isn't it? Yes. Now, so apart from this, we are having the Asian also. Asian grouping ఉంటుంది కదా మనకు, అవునా కదా? Asian expand చేస్తారు ఎవరైనా? Can you expand the word Asian? What's your name? Jaysurya. Where are you from? Hyderabad. Where in Hyderabad? Mehedipatnam. చెప్పండి Jaysurya. Asian అన్న వర్డ్ విన్నారా మీరు? ఎస్ చెప్పండి. Asian ఎక్స్పాండ్ చేయండి. తెలుసుంటే ట్రై చేయండి, రైట్ చెప్పాల్సిన పని లేదు. ఎక్స్పాండ్ ద వర్డ్ ఏషియన్. ఎక్సలెంట్ ఏమో చెప్తున్నారు. ఆల్ ఏషియన్ కంట్రీస్ ఆర్ ఇన్వాల్వింగ్. చెప్తానా? డోంట్ వెరీ. ఫస్ట్ జయసూర్య, లెట్ హిమ్ ట్రై. ఎస్, ఓకే, వెరీ గుడ్, నైస్. చెప్పండి ఇప్పుడు. ఏషియన్ స్టాండ్స్ ఫర్ అసోసియేషన్ ఆఫ్ సౌత్ ఈస్ట్ ఏషియన్ నేషన్స్. వెరీ గుడ్. ఓకే, nice, keep it up. బాగా తెలుసు మీకు అయితే. నైస్. ఓకే, సో దిస్ ఈజ్ అబౌట్ ద రీజనల్ గ్రూపింగ్. నెక్స్ట్ గ్లోబల్ గ్రూపింగ్స్. యూ నో గ్లోబల్ గ్రూపింగ్స్ లైక్ G20. G20 is one of the global grouping, as well as the G7 is also one of the global grouping. Can anyone recall as BRICS is also one of the global grouping? So this year G20 meeting is going to be happen in which country? Brazil. Last year India. Very good. Okay, as online students also actively answering. Very good, keep it up guys. Okay, next, can anyone recall G7 countries ఏమేమి ఉన్నాయో చెప్తారా? అంటే 7 చెప్పాలి. వాట్స్ యువర్ నేమ్? పవన్. వేర్ యు ఆర్ ఫ్రమ్ పవన్? యు ఆర్ ఫ్రమ్ ఖమ్మం. చెప్పండి పవన్. G7 చెప్పండి. కెనడా, ఫ్రాన్స్, ఇటలీ, జపాన్, జర్మనీ, UK, USA. 7 అయిపోయినాయా? వెరీ గుడ్, ఎక్సలెంట్, కీప్ ఇట్ అప్. ఓకే, so these are the global groupings, and G7 is nothing but group of developed countries. Developing countries are not there. If we add developing countries also to the G7, that becomes the G20. That means G7 is a part of the G20. I will explain, just make introduction class kabatti just I am giving a brief overview. Meeku even teliyakapoyina don't worry, I will explain and I will give the notes also, don't worry. So G7 is a part of the G20, but all the G20 countries need not to be in G7 groupings. That you have to know. This is the second one regarding the syllabus, that is about the bilateral one. Next, effect of policies and politics of the developed countries and developing countries on India's interest and Indian diaspora. What do you mean Indian diaspora? Indians who are living in abroad, they are the Indian diaspora. Yes or no? NRIs and all these things. Okay, do you really think that ఫారిన్ కంట్రీ పాలసీస్ విల్ ఎఫెక్ట్ అవర్ ఇండియన్స్? ఫారిన్ కంట్రీలో ఏదైనా పాలసీ చేంజ్ అయితే మన ఇండియన్స్ పైన ఇంపాక్ట్ ఉంటుంది అనుకుంటున్నారా? ఎస్ ఆర్ నో? యాస్ గివ్ ఎన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్. ఎస్, రైట్. ఎస్, డొనాల్డ్ ట్రంప్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత డొనాల్డ్ ట్రంప్ మే చేంజ్ సమ్ వీసా పాలసీ, వీసా నార్మ్స్ అండ్ ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. దట్ ఇస్ ద రీజన్ నౌ ఇండియన్స్ డోంట్ వాంట్ టు కమ్ టు ఇండియా. డూ యూ నో దట్? Donald Trump వచ్చిన తర్వాత once things will settle down, then they want to come. Whoever planning to India now, they are coming to India before Donald Trump coming, or else they want to stay there and they want to see how the Donald Trump policies are going to be there. Visa issues, you all know that. That is a developed country. What about the developing country, like our Prime Minister went to Kuwait, Qatar, okay, Saudi Arabia, UAE. These are the developing countries. Whatever the policy they take, that will affect Indians who are working over there. మన ఇండియన్స్ అక్కడ పనిచేస్తున్న వాళ్ళకి ఎఫెక్ట్ అవుద్దా లేదా? ఇఫ్ ఖతార్ ఇమీడియట్లీ రిమూవ్డ్ ఆల్ ద like work visa and all these things, majority of the people from Kerala who are working in the Middle East, they have to come back. Okay, so that is about world lo a developed country aina, any developed country or any developing country, if they are taking up any policy, means definitely Indians will be affected, because Indians are everywhere, isn't it? So actually Indians who are settled in abroad, we can classify them into two ways. Some are the skilled workers, some are the unskilled workers. Indians who are skilled people, ఇండియన్స్ మనకి ఎవరికైతే స్కిల్ ఉండి వేరే కంట్రీలో సెటిల్ అవుతారో వాళ్ళ మనం వైట్ కాలర్ లేబర్ అంటాం. వాట్ యు కాల్ వైట్ కాలర్ లేబర్. వేరాస్ అన్స్కిల్డ్ ఇండియన్స్, ఓకే, who don't have much education, okay, who don't have much technical qualification, who settled in abroad, they are known as blue collar employees. Have you heard about these words? White collar jobs and blue collar jobs. Majority of the white collar jobs from India, they settled in USA and Europe, USA and Europe. Whereas the blue collar ones, especially in the Middle East, okay, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, you don't believe, guys, actually the amount of money which sent from abroad to Kerala, there is remittances, you know that, yeah, the money which is coming from abroad to India is known as remittances. Remittances coming to Kerala is higher than the Kerala budget. Do you know? Kerala ko che remittances, that money is higher than the Kerala state budget. So you can understand how much money Kerala is getting from the abroad. So you might have known that so many Kerala people settled in this Middle East. So many Tamilians settled in the Indonesia and this Malaysia. Okay, generally you will see a lot of Punjabis settled down in Canada and UK, because at the time of independence they went to these countries as a refugee. They sought asylum in those countries. What about the Telugu people? In which country you will find? Everywhere. Okay, so because we believe in our brain power, isn't it? What do you say? So everywhere, like USA, Europe, whatnot, even some African countries also, we are there. Okay, actually Rishi Sunak family, initially they migrated from India to Africa to Europe, I mean UK. Rishi Sunak, previously British Prime Minister, he got the Indian origin, you know that, yeah. And whereas this Kamala Harris, she got the Indian origin as well, but her mother, like migrated from India to US. Okay, next, important international institutions and agencies. Okay, important international agencies and the institutions, this is also they mentioned here. We are going to discuss about their structure and why they created mandates. Well, when they create చేశారు. International institutions అంటే best example WTO and WHO, IMF and UNO and all these organizations. Okay, League of Nations and all. Okay, what is the main purpose of the UNO? To promote the international peace. Okay, even in Article 51 also we read, India promotes international peace and India always encourages the disputes to be solved in a peaceful manner. That is what our DPSP also says. So international institutions and even WTO also, you know that India is arguing for, India is supporting the developing countries in WTO lo developing countries India support chestundi kada, you all know that. So these are the important international institutions we are going to discuss as Trump 2.0, India 2023, as you are right, online students. So this is about the overall syllabus. Did you get a clarity about what they mentioned in the syllabus? All of you, are you able to follow? నేను చెప్పేది అర్థమవుతుందా స్టూడెంట్స్? అండ్ దిస్ వన్ రిగార్డింగ్ దిస్ notes and all these things, our class will be, I'll dictate the notes. Once I explain the concept, I will dictate the notes. For today's class, for the first 1 hour or so, you don't require any dictation, because I am going to help you the micro topics, what you are going to discuss in the IR, so that you will get an overview, what you will learn, and while you are like going through the current affairs also, you will read according to this. What to do is, on Friday class, I mean you don't have Friday class, on next week's Tuesday, I will ask questions from the current affairs. Okay, I will ask questions based on current affairs which are exclusively related to IR only. IR from the month of November. Are we clear? November month IR current affairs questions I will ask you. You can take any magazine, any standard magazine, read, okay, and try to answer. November. If possible, try to read the October as well, because in one monthly magazine, IR current affairs, how many pages generally? 5 to 6 pages or max 10 pages in a magazine. 2 months means 20 pages. If you are able to pull off, try to read 2 months current affairs, or else at least read November month current affairs. Why I am telling to you is, by the end of our IR course, if you finish last 6 months current affairs, that will be very good. That will give a lot of confidence to you as well before you attempting the next prelims. Okay, how many of you are attempting the 2025 prelims? 1, 2, 3. So for all of you this will be applicable. Are we clear? Of course for rest of you also it is applicable. So next week Tuesday I'll ask questions based on IR current affairs, November month IR current affairs. Go through the magazine. If you couldn't understand anything, let me know in the classroom. Are we clear about this? Now let's go to some detailed syllabus. అంటే ఇందాక మీకు సిలబస్ కాపీలు ఏమి ఇచ్చానో అవి చెప్పాను. Then what we are going to discuss in our course as a polity classes. Now let me explain. So first we start our class with the Indian foreign policy. Indian foreign policy. What do you mean foreign policy? Very good. Any other view from last? What do you mean foreign policy? Yes, very good. Last half. ఆన్సర్ చెప్పాలనుకుంటున్నారా లేదా? Yes, foreign policy is all about what? It is a policy, okay, based on which how we are interacting with other countries. That is known as foreign policy. Who will execute our foreign policy? మన foreign policy ని ఎవరు ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేస్తారు, ఎవరు ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తారు? నరేంద్ర మోడీయా? ఫారెన్ మినిస్టర్? నో, డిప్లొమాట్స్. ఇండియన్ డిప్లొమాట్స్ హూ ఆర్ వర్కింగ్ ఇన్ అబ్రాడ్. మన ఇండియాకి డిప్లొమాట్స్ ఉంటారు కదా. డిప్లొమాట్ మీన్స్ అంబాసిడర్స్ ఆర్ హై కమిషనర్, డిపెండ్స్ ఆన్ విచ్ కంట్రీ. Our Indian representative in the Commonwealth country is known as High Commissioner, non-Commonwealth country is known as Ambassador. Idea on the Ambassador, Indian Ambassador, Indian High Commissioner, okay? Idea of chapter, don't worry. So they are implementing. Who will become the Indian Ambassador? Indian Ambassador ever avutaru? IFS. If you selected to the Indian Foreign Service, okay, then you will be act as a diplomat. For example, if you posted into, like which country? North Korea. What you will do? You will promote India's interest in North Korea. If any Indian is having some problem in North Korea, you will help to them. Are we clear about this? This is the diplomats will do. Where the diplomats will stay? Accounter will embassy lo untaru. As simple as that. ఈ వర్డ్స్ అన్ని మెల్లిమెల్లిగా మీరు నేర్చుకుంటారు. Embassy, diplomatic immunity అంటే ఏంటి? That means what kind of protection will be given to the diplomats and all these things we will discuss. So Indian foreign policy lo first manam after India's independence, how our foreign policy? Indian foreign policy also, it was keep on changing under different foreign minister, prime minister. For example, when Jawaharlal Nehru was prime minister from the 1947 to 1964, at that time, India mainly followed the norm, non-alignment movement. You might have studied in the school days chaduvuntaru meer. Non-alignment movement, we will discuss. Okay, how India performed during the time of Cold War time lo mana foreign policy ela undindi. Alane war with Pakistan in 1948 and 1965, 1971, 1998. These were the times, thank you. These were the times of war between the India and Pakistan. War with China as well, 1962. Okay? India-China war tarvata major India lo jarigina change emana unda? Can anyone recall? After India-China war in 1962, what was the major change happened in India? If you know, that's okay, you know. If you don't know, that's okay. ఎల్పిజి రిఫార్మ్స్. మీరు ఇందాక మీ పేరేమన్నారు? ప్రవీణ్. మనకి ఎల్పిజి రిఫార్మ్స్ ఏ ఇయర్లో వచ్చాయి? 1991. ఇండియా చైనా వారు ఎప్పుడు జరిగింది? దెన్ కాదు, నేను క్వశ్చన్ మీకు అట్లా అర్థమైంది. తర్వాత ఇందిరాగాంధీ చనిపోయింది, అది కాదు విషయం. 1962 వార్ వల్ల ఇమ్మీడియట్ ఇంపాక్ట్ ఏంది అని చెప్పేసి అది క్వశ్చన్ అర్థమైంది మీ అందరికీ? 1962 వార్ ఇంపాక్ట్ ఇండియన్ ఫారెన్ పాలసీ పైన ఎలా ఉంది? దట్స్ ఓకే, ఫైన్, వెరీ గుడ్ లోక్పాల్. యాజ్ మెయిన్ ఏంటంటే వి డ్రాప్డ్ నామ్ అన్న పాలసీని మనం డ్రాప్ చేసామన్నమాట. నాన్ అలైన్మెంట్ పాలసీ, వి స్టాప్డ్ ఫాలోయింగ్ ద నామ్. దట్స్ ద ఫస్ట్ థింగ్. Second thing is we started spending money on defense. We started improving our defense. Previously we did not spend much money on the defense because we followed the norm. Norm is about the peace. When you are talking about the peace, why you will spend money on the like defense? And third impact is we lost territory. We lost certain part of the land. ఇండియా చైనా వార్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత వి లాస్ట్ ఆక్సిజన్. ఆక్సిజన్ అనేది లాస్ అయినామా లేదా మనం? దిస్ ఇస్ జమ్మూ కాశ్మీర్. ఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు సీ లాస్ట్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ యూ? దిస్ ఇస్ జమ్మూ కాశ్మీర్ అండ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఆక్సిజన్ ఏరియా and this is the Pak occupied Kashmir, POK. From this actually the China-Pakistan economic corridor is going on, CPEC, which is a part of the BRI, Belt and Road Initiative. Okay, one belt, one road from China. We'll discuss about that later. So this was occupied by the China, Oxygen region. 1962 Tarvata, we lost this area. Still, the boundary between the Oxygen and India, still the boundary is not settled. The boundary is actually known as line of actual control, LAC. This is about the LOC, line of control. Still, India and China, we don't have agreement regarding the LAC. That's the reason India is claiming LAC from somewhere around this region. China is claiming LAC from somewhere around this region. Andukosame, that is the reason mainly, that is the reason, that is the cause of the Galwan Valley incident. Galwan Valley incident, meeku idea unda? Like 2 years back, Colonel Santhosh Babu, he died in the China forces and India forces. They got into clashes. Did you remember that? That was mainly due to this. Even sometimes in news you will see Pyongyang Lake. Current affairs మీకు ఎప్పుడన్నా వచ్చిందా? Pyongyang Lake లో చైనా వాళ్ళు బ్రిడ్జ్ కట్టారని చెప్పేసి. That dispute also mainly because we don't have a clarity between the India and China regarding the border. Okay? Remember guys, if you don't have a clarity on the border, there is always a dispute. Imagine for example your father and your father brother both are having the agriculture land side by side. If they have a proper demarcation, that will be cool. Both the families will be good. If they don't have any proper demarcation, then obviously always there is a dispute between your father and your father's brother, your uncle. Yes or no? Jarugudda leda? So that means meeku oka IR student ki ardham kavalsindi endante to reduce the dispute with our neighboring country, we have to settle the border issues. We have to settle the border disputes. That is the reason India settled border disputes with Bangladesh, okay, very long back. Okay, for that only we amended the 109th Constitution Amendment Act as well as the 100th Constitution Amendment Act. Both of these related to the settling down the dispute with the Bangladesh only. Okay, because of this amendment is a result of the Berubari case. In Berubari case, Supreme Court clearly mentioned that when you are giving land away to other countries, you have to amend the constitution, and this is about the land border agreement between the India and Bangladesh. Okay, when you are giving away any sovereignty and mana territory, if something is affecting our sovereignty, then obviously you have to do the amendment of constitution. It comes under the article 2, not 3, article 2. So the first thing మీకు అర్థం కావాల్సింది ఏంటంటే, if you don't want any dispute with your neighboring countries, you have to settle your dispute as soon as possible. With Pakistan, we have unsettled boundary, we are having the dispute. LOC, Pakistan claims something and India is claiming another thing. With China also we done the same thing. But with Bangladesh, with Myanmar, we don't have any dispute because we don't have any border related issues. Okay, అది సాల్వ్ చేసుకోవాలి. అందుకోసమే when you are reading editorial from now onwards, you will understand this border related disputes. Okay, you can avoid the dispute by regular talks. మనం రెగ్యులర్గా మాట్లాడుకున్నాం అనుకోండి, disputes, the tensions will be lower down. There is a reason recently Jaishankar involved in our foreign minister, he involved in talks with China. చూసారా మీ న్యూస్ పేపర్లో? Recently he held talks with China. Signals emerged from India-China talks. Actually, this was one of the main heading in the Hindu newspaper like few days back. Positive signals emerged from India-China talks. Why we have to talk? When you talk, obviously, that confidence will be built. Confidence అనేది build అవుతుంది రెండు కంట్రీస్ మధ్యలో. So that can avoid the tensions. And that will promote the good relation between the countries. Always remember, if you want to promote good relation between the countries need to talk regularly. That process is known as confidence building measures. What demonstrates? Confidence building measures under CBM. Confidence building measures. confidence building measures. It improves a relationship between nations. Confidence building nations. Measures. Example, recent India-China talks. ఈ వర్డ్ మాత్రం మీకు బాగా గుర్తుండాలి చూడండి. సరే, మీరు జిఎస్ పేపర్ 2 మెయిన్స్ ఆన్సర్ రాసేటప్పుడు కూడా యూ హ్యావ్ టు యూజ్ దీస్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ టెక్నికల్ వర్డ్స్. ఇట్ యాడ్స్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ వాల్యూ అడిషన్ టు యువర్ ఆన్సర్. Confidence building measures, regular talks. Who involves in these regular talks? Anyone. It may be sometimes Prime Minister, Indian Prime Minister and Chinese President. That's the highest level of talks. Sometimes our foreign minister and that country foreign minister will involve. Sometimes official will involve. Officials also will involve based on the issues. Okay. If you are dealing with very, very important issues, then the talks will be the head of the nations, Prime Minister and President of China. Depends on what issues you are discussing about. This is about the confidence building measures. Now we'll see other thing as well. Next. Then tarvata meeku emna class unda? Do you have any class? If you miss anything here, just to take the photo when you leaving the class, so that, and I will tell them to forward this file. Whatever I write here, that file will be forwarded to you. In case if last whoever sitting, if unable to see here also, don't worry about that. Okay. నెక్స్ట్ రీజనల్ గ్రూపింగ్స్. మీకు సిలబస్ కాపీలో రీజనల్ గ్రూపింగ్స్ అని ఇచ్చారు కదా, ఆ రీజనల్ గ్రూపింగ్స్లో మనం వేటి గురించి మాట్లాడుకుంటాం మనం క్లాస్లో ఉంటే. సో వి విల్ డిస్కస్ అబౌట్ ద సార్క్ అండ్ బిమ్స్టిక్, BBIN, బ్రిక్స్, SCO, షాంఘై కోఆపరేషన్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్, క్వాడ్, G7, G20. దీస్ ఆర్ ద రీజనల్ గ్రూపింగ్స్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు డిస్కస్. ఓకే. సో రీసెంట్లీ విచ్ కంట్రీ జాయిన్ ఇన్ ద SCO? ఇరానా? అంతేనా? రీసెంట్ అంటే దిస్ ఇయర్ I mean to say. చదవట్లేదు న్యూస్ పేపర్? టైం దొరకట్లేదా? Tell me, which country? John, guess, give a guess. Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which country? That country is in the Middle East. Tell me guys. Middle East లో ఉన్న country. కాదు. సారీ guys, Middle East కాదు. Eastern Europe. ఈస్టర్న్ యూరోప్ అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఎక్కడ ఏంది అని సెర్చ్ చేసుకోవాలి సార్ బ్రెయిన్లో. ఈస్టర్న్ యూరోప్ ఏదైనా ఒక కంట్రీ పేరు చెప్పండి. ఈస్టర్న్ యూరోప్ అంటే ఫిన్లాండా? ఆ స్కాండినేవియన్ కంట్రీ కదండి. నార్వే, స్వీడన్, ఫిన్లాండ్, ఎస్తోనియా, లాత్వియా, లిథువేనియా. నాట్ ఐ మీన్ విచ్ కంట్రీ జాయిన్ రీసెంట్లీ ఇన్ SCO? బెలరూస్. రష్యా ఆల్రెడీ ఉంది కదండి. రష్యా లేకపోతే ఎలా ఉంటుంది? బెలరూస్ జాయిన్ అయింది. Belarus word winner country. It's in news. Belarus joining. Okay. And which country recently joined in? Yes, Belarus. 10th country. Very good. Nice. Okay. Now, which country recently joined in BRICS? BRICS lo join in countries enti? Idea unda? BRICS lo konni countries join ayinayi. 5 countries join ayinayi kada. Continent wise cheppandi meeku easy ga understand. Continent wise. North America, is any country joining in the BRICS? Joined in the BRICS? నార్త్ అమెరికా నుంచి జాయిన్ అయ్యాయా ఏదైనా కంట్రీ? నో. సౌత్ అమెరికా? ఫర్ అర్జెంటీనా వి ఇన్వైటెడ్ బట్ దే డిడ్ నాట్ జాయిన్. అర్జెంటీనా వాళ్ళు ఇన్వైట్ చేశారు కానీ జాయిన్ అవ్వలేదు. యాక్చువల్లీ అర్జెంటీనా న్యూస్ మనకి లాస్ట్ టైం FIFA వరల్డ్ కప్ అర్జెంటీనానే కదా వచ్చింది. FIFA వరల్డ్ కప్. సో 2034 రీసెంట్లీ దే అనౌన్స్ ద వెన్యూ ఆల్సో. 2034 విచ్ కంట్రీ ఇస్ గోయింగ్ టు హోస్ట్ ద 2034 FIFA వరల్డ్ కప్? ఇండియా మాత్రం అనకండి. ఫుట్బాల్ మన దగ్గర అంత పెద్ద పాపులర్ కాదు కదండి. గివ్ ఎ గెస్. సౌదీ అరేబియా కదండి. ఎస్, ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ సౌదీ అరేబియా. 2034 సౌదీ అరేబియా. ఓకే. సో విచ్ కంట్రీస్? ఈజిప్ట్, ఇథియోపియా, ఇరాన్, సౌదీ అరేబియా, UAE. దీస్ ఆర్ ద 5 countries. Egypt, Ethiopia from African continent, and you know that Iran, Saudi Arabia and UAE, all these are from the Asia, Middle East. Okay. Like Arab Peninsula. That is about the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Quad. Tell me guys, which countries are the member countries in the Quad? India, Australia, Japan, USA. Okay. What is the significance of this Quad? To stop China's dominance in where? Indo-Pacific. Excellent. Very good. Okay, students. Quad. In Quad, there are 4 countries. USA, you know that this is all about the USA. 49 states are here. Alaska is their 50th state. USA, Japan, Australia, India. So, ఈ countries అన్ని బట్టి మీకు అర్థమవుతుంది ఏంటంటే here this China is there. To prevent the China dominance in the Pacific Ocean. Pacific Ocean ఏరియాలో చైనా డామినెన్స్ని కౌంటర్ చేయడం కోసమని టు కౌంటర్ ద చైనా డామినెన్స్ ఇన్ ద పసిఫిక్ ఓషన్ దే ఫార్మ్డ్ as one group these 4 countries to control the China's hegemony. Hegemony means dominance. To control the China's hegemony, these 4 countries formed as a group, Quad. This area is very, very important, guys. That is the reason during the World War II time, Japan, it attacked the American Navy base Pearl Harbor. ఇక్కడ ఉంటుంది. Pearl Harbor attack. Have you heard about this? Japan attacked the Pearl Harbor of America, Hawaii దగ్గర ఉంటుంది Pearl Harbor. Because of that only, America entered into the World War II. Otherwise, America is not interested in to enter into the World War II. They were being attacked by the Japan. That is the reason Japan was attacked by America with the nuclear attack, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Okay. So Quad, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, BRICS, you all know that. Okay. And recently 5 more members added. BBIN, which countries are the member countries in BBIN? It's a road network. Bangladesh, Bhutan, India and Nepal. The original proposal, ఈ ప్రపోజల్ ఏంటంటే టు కనెక్ట్ ఆల్ దీస్ 4 countries బై రోడ్. ఓకే, రోడ్ ద్వారా ఈ 4 countries కనెక్ట్ చేయడం. దట్ ఈస్ అబౌట్ ద మెయిన్ పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ ద BBIN. నెక్స్ట్ బిమ్స్టెక్. కెన్ యూ ఎక్స్పాండ్ ద వర్డ్ బిమ్స్టెక్? ఎనీ వన్ ఆఫ్ యూ రైజ్ యువర్ హ్యాండ్ అండ్ టెల్ మీ. బిమ్స్టెక్ విన్నారా? పేరు వింటే చెప్పండి. వాట్ ఇస్ యువర్ నేమ్? సత్యనారాయణ. వెర్ యూ ఫ్రమ్ సత్యనారాయణ? Andhra, Rajahmundry. Tell me, Satyanarayana from Rajahmundry. BIMSTEC. Idea లేదా? Lokpal? Yes, very good. మిగతా BIM అంటే మరి? Yes, Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. Don't worry, రాసుకోండి, చెప్తాను తర్వాత. You can check. Okay, we'll discuss about BIMSTEC, when it was formed, what are the member countries. Just I'm introducing the various topics to you. Okay, so that you will know what are the subject, like the dimensions. BIMSTEC. SARC we already discussed. So these are the regional groupings we are going to cover in our class. Next, India and developed nations. India relations with other countries. India and developed nations. Here we are going to discuss about India relationship between the India and USA, India Russia, India Japan, India Europe, Africa and West Asia. Now our Prime Minister in the West Asia visit. Yes or no? West Asia too. Okay. So once his visit is done, okay, you can write one assignment on India and this Kuwait. Is he visiting only one country or any other countries as well? Only Kuwait? Idea లేదా? India Prime Minister tour ఇప్పుడు ఓన్లీ కువైట్ ఒకటేనా, వేరే కంట్రీస్ ఉందా? ఓకే ఫైన్, మీకు ఐడియా లేకపోతే తర్వాత. సో ఆఫ్టర్ 1 or 2 days, once this tour is concluded, then write one assignment. I will give you that assignment on what areas you have to write. Then try to work on that. India, Kuwait, what are the common areas, what are the challenges. Okay, what kind of agreement signed between the India and Kuwait in our Prime Minister visit, that you have to check. Actually, nowadays these oil nations, actually, the Kuwait, you know that they are mainly dependent on the crude oil. Okay, these oil producing countries, they are facing a lot of pressure from the international community because of these sustainable development goals and all these things. Okay, especially in the recent COP29 summit also, they face a lot of problem because COP 29 and 28 in both one. Okay, 28 happened in UAE, I think so. Abu Dhabi na? UAE? No? Abu Dhabi. 29 in Azerbaijan. So in these things, yes, in these meetings, these developed countries and these oil rich countries, they face a lot of criticism. So regarding that, okay, what India spoke to them, what are the important deals happened between these 2 countries, you have to check. India and developed countries. Then Indian diaspora. Okay, obviously the role played by the Indian diaspora and the safety of Indians in abroad. You know that when Russia-Ukraine war broke out, at that time Indians who are living in Ukraine, we brought them back. Gutunda, some Indians who are doing this MBBS medicine in Ukraine, they were been brought back. Okay, what was the name of that operation? Operation Ganga. Namami Ganga is about the cleaning of the river Ganga. Very good, nice attempt. Operation Ganga. Okay, what was the name of the operation? Like where Indians brought from the Sudan. In Sudan, our Indians faced a lot of problems because of the war and all these things. We brought them back. What was the name of the operation? Any idea? Chitra Bhai, what's your name? Emperor? Your parent? Rupesh. Where are you from, Rupesh? Tirupati. Tell me. Rupesh from Tirupati, tell me. Sudan nunchi man Indians in back తీసుకొచ్చాం. What is the name of that operation? Yes, Operation Kaveri. Very good. Operation Kaveri. Okay. So regarding the Kaveri river, which two states are having disputes? Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Okay. That's how you have to link the subject. And of course the interstate river tribunals are Article 262. You must have learned. So all these are the interconnected things, guys. Okay. So Indian diaspora and Gulf, Middle East. I told you how much Kerala is depending on this remittance and all. Okay. And what kind of problems they are facing, that we'll discuss. And international organizations and the structure. In syllabus copy they mentioned this line. As a part of that, we will discuss about these following international organizations. UN Security Council, and of course India is demanding that India should be given the permanent seat in the UN Security Council. UN Security Council lo India ki permanent seat kavalani adugutunnaru. That is we will discuss. Okay, why India is asking for that and all. Okay, now how many countries are having the permanent membership in UN Security Council? 5. Okay. And the reason India is asking is, if you get the permanent membership in the UN Security Council, you can get the veto power. So that means if any decision is taken, that means India is also can reject the decision. Veto power now is only enjoyed by the 5 countries. Okay. Out of these 5 countries, 4 countries are the World War II winning countries. World War II lo win ayinaru kada. Are you done with the this world history not yet? Yeah? Okay. Some of you are done. So in World War II, there are allied powers and Axis powers. Allied powers are UK, France, USA and Russia. These are the allied powers. Out of these 4 countries got the membership in the UN Security Council. Apart from that, China also got the membership. Now India is demanding that India should be given. Actually, not only India is demanding, even Germany, India, Japan, Brazil, these 4 countries are demanding. These 4 countries formed as one group also, G4. What do you call? G4. Group of 4 countries which are demanding the membership in the UN Security Council. Who is the present present Secretary General of UNO? But UNO headquarter ekkada undo cheppandi. Where is headquarter of UNO? New Delhi, Secunderabad. Where? చెప్పండి ఏదో నేను చెప్పండి. జెనీవా. ఎక్సలెంట్, వెరీ గుడ్. ఇంకా జయసూరి టెల్ మీ. గివ్ సమ్ నేమ్ ర్యాండమ్గా ఏదో ఒకటి. ఫిన్లాండ్. ఓకే. ఎనీవన్ ఫ్రమ్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్? అమరావతి అంటారా? లెజిస్లేటివ్ క్యాపిటల్ ఆఫ్ ఏపీ. వాట్స్ యువర్ నేమ్? మీ పేరు చెప్పారా? శివరామరాజు. You're from Hyderabad, Miyapur. Tell me. Mr. Raju, tell me. ఎక్కడుంది అనుకుంటారా యూఎన్ఓ హెడ్ క్వార్టర్? పటాన్చెరులో ఉంది సార్ అంటే మా ఇంటి దగ్గర ఉంది. న్యూయార్క్. ఎనీ అదర్ ఆన్సర్ గైస్? వాషింగ్టన్ డీసీ. క్లాస్లో పార్టిసిపేట్ చేయండి, మీకు ఏం నెగిటివ్ మార్కింగ్ లేదు. ట్రై టు పార్టిసిపేట్. రూపేష్ టెల్ మీ. మొబైల్ చెక్ చేయకండి. మొబైల్ చెక్ చేసి నేను బయటకు పంపిస్తే ఆ విషయం తర్వాత మీకు తెలుస్తుంది. పంపించిన వాళ్ళని చూస్తే తర్వాత మీకు అర్థమవుతుంది. సో ఎక్కడుంది? న్యూయార్కా? గుడ్. ఓకే. వాట్ అబౌట్ ద యుఎన్ సెక్రటరేట్? యుఎన్ సెక్రటరేట్ ఎక్కడుంది? సెక్రటరేట్ అంటే తెలుసు కదా, స్టాఫ్ అందరు వర్క్ చేస్తారు కదా. సచివాలయం. ఎస్, కరెక్టే. సెక్రటరీ అంటే అదే అండి. సీరియస్లీ యూర్ రైట్. ఎక్కడుంది? అది కూడా న్యూయార్క్లో ఉంటుంది కదండి. యుఎన్ఓ హెడ్ క్వార్టర్ ఉన్నప్పుడు స్టాఫ్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటారు? అక్కడే ఉంటారా కదా. ఐసీజే ఇంటర్నేషనల్ కోర్ట్ ఆఫ్ జస్టిస్ ఎక్కడ ఉంది? ది హేగ్. వెరీ గుడ్. అదొక్కటి తప్ప యుఎన్ఓ 4 న్యూయార్క్లోనే ఉంటాయి. యుఎన్ యుఎన్ సెక్రటేరియట్, యుఎన్ జనరల్ అసెంబ్లీ అండ్ యుఎన్ ఎకనామిక్ అండ్ సోషల్ కౌన్సిల్, ఓకే, అండ్ యుఎన్ హెడ్ క్వార్టర్. ఆల్ దీస్ ఆర్ ప్రెసెంట్ ఇన్ న్యూయార్క్ ఓన్లీ ఎక్సెప్ట్ వన్, ఇంటర్నేషనల్ కోర్ట్ ఆఫ్ జస్టిస్. ఇట్ ఈస్ ప్రజెంట్ ఇన్ ద హేగ్. ఏ కంట్రీ అండి ద హేగ్ అంటే? విచ్ కంట్రీ? నెదర్లాండ్సా హాలండా? కరెక్ట్ చెప్పండి. ఎస్, వెరీ గుడ్. రెండు ఒకటే కదా. దే ఆర్ ద అదర్ నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ద కంట్రీ. రెండు ఒకటి. నెదర్లాండ్స్ అన్నా, డచ్ అన్నా, హాలండ్ అన్నా ఒకటి. ఓకే. చాలా హెడ్ క్వార్టర్స్ జెనీవాలో ఉంటాయి జనరల్గా. రీజన్స్ ఏంటి? చాలామంది జెనీవా అన్నారు బై డిఫాల్ట్, అవునా కదా? సో మెనీ హెడ్ క్వార్టర్స్ దే ఆర్ ఇన్ జెనీవా. ఏమన్నా ఆలోచించారు ఎందుకు రీజన్ అయి ఉంటుంది? వెదర్ బాగుంటుందనా? ఎస్ రూపేష్, ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయండి. న్యూట్రల్ కంట్రీ మీన్స్ ఎక్సెప్ట్ యు ఆర్ రైట్. ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ దట్. వాట్ డూ మీన్ న్యూట్రల్ కంట్రీ? ఎందుకు? ఓకే, వెరీ గుడ్. మీరు ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఆల్ చెప్పారు సిమిలర్గా. చెప్తారా? వై ఇన్ జెనీవా ఈక్వి డిస్టెంట్గా ఉంటుందా? ఎక్కడ నుంచి? బై ఎయిరా బై రోడా? చెప్పండి అది కూడా. ఎస్, ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ. స్విట్జర్లాండ్ నాట్ పార్టిసిపేటెడ్ ఈదర్ ఇన్ ద World War I or in the World War II. That is the reason. You know, besides Switzerland, see here, this is Switzerland, friends. Okay, here, besides Switzerland, France, Germany, Italy, okay, they very actively present both in the World War I as well as the World War II. But still, Germany, Switzerland, it remained neutral. That is the reason majority of the international organizations, their headquarters present in this Switzerland. Actually, from tomorrow when you are coming, so it is better if you bring your atlas. Atlas unda? లాస్ట్ మంత్ జాయిన్ అయ్యారు, ఉందా? ఎస్, లేకపోతే కొనుక్కోండి. ఓకే, ఎందుకంటే మనం ఇక్కడ డిస్కస్ చేస్తాం ఫ్రాన్స్ అండ్ యూకే English channel. When Germany occupied France, they tried to attack the UK as well, but they unable to cross the English channel because the Royal Navy was very, very strong. These things you have to know. If you learn through maps, that will be very good for you. Apart from UNO, we supposed to discuss about the IMF as well, International Monetary Fund. Okay, you all know that, guys. When India faced this balance of payment crisis, we approached IMF and IMF helped to India with certain conditions. The conditions of implementing the LPG reforms, liberalization, privatization, globalization. LPG reforms implement cheste double istamanaru. We implemented the LPG economic reforms. You might have heard about that. Okay, then actually IMF as well as the World Bank, both their headquarters present in Washington DC only. IMF and World Bank both. Next, NATO. We all know that NATO formed in 1949. So what do you mean NATO, guys? North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Actually, ఎందుకు ఇవి ఏర్పాటు చేసుకున్నారు? వాట్ ఇస్ ద పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్? రష్యానా? Actually, guys, after World War II, there was an ideological clash. That ideological clash, it was between the capitalism versus communism. Okay. Ideological clash unde anamata. Okay, this capitalism side, it was led by the USA, and this communism side, it was led by the USSR. USSR is about the group of countries, but USA was a single country. So USA to promote collective security అంటే మనం ఒక గ్రూప్ ఆఫ్ కంట్రీస్ లాగా ఉంటే మనం సెక్యూర్గా ఉంటామని చెప్పేసి, టు ప్రమోట్ ద కలెక్టివ్ సెక్యూరిటీ. ఓకే, USA ప్లస్ US friendly nations, USA and US friendly nations, they formed as one collective organization that is known as NATO in 1949. The speciality of NATO is, in NATO, if one country is attacked, the attack is considered as the entire NATO, and the entire NATO countries will respond. Are we clear about this? Okay, for example, these 6 members, they are present in NATO. If I attack him, the attack is on the entire 6 members, all the people will respond. That is the reason Russia don't wanted Ukraine to be joined in the NATO. Because now if Ukraine would have been member in the NATO, now Russia would have never attacked. Because Russia know that if one NATO member is attacked, that attack will be considered an entire NATO. So NATO forming tarvata USSR also responded. USSR also responded with Russia and friendly countries. Russia and friendly nations. Russia వరకు ఎవరైతే friendly countries ఉన్నాయో, they formed the Warsaw Pact. Warsaw Pact 1955. So this was the time of Cold War. Okay, one going against another. Warsaw is the capital of Poland. That means the Russia grouping is one side and USSR grouping is on other side. Okay. Even though these countries believed in communism, communism was never realized. Never materialized. Never materialized. World stopped at the stage of socialism only. World stopped at the stage of socialism. It never moved to communism. That's the reason India also accepted this socialism concept, and we added the word socialism in the preamble through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. Socialism, secular. So how is your preparation, guys? Around the preparation, adendi center. What, Rupesh? How's your preparation? ఏదో చెప్పండి, గుడా బ్యాడా, నాట్ బ్యాడా, నాట్ గుడా, బోరింగ్ ఏంది? బోరింగ్ అంటే ఇంత కొత్త కొత్త విషయాలు నేర్చుకుంటున్నారు. బోరింగ్ అంటే ఎలా? బట్ సత్యనారాయణ అంతా మస్ట్ బి ఎగ్జైటింగ్. ఎస్, సి హౌ ఎగ్జైటింగ్ ఈస్ ఫీలింగ్. సో హౌ డిడ్ యూ సెలబ్రేట్ ద సెమీ క్రిస్మస్ సెలబ్రేషన్స్? ఎవరు ఉన్నారా సెలబ్రేట్ చేసుకున్నారా సెమీ క్రిస్మస్? కేరింగ్ అప్ ఫర్ ద క్రిస్మస్ ఎప్పుడు వినలేదా వర్డ్? ఫస్ట్ టైం సెమీ క్రిస్మస్ అని వింటున్నారు, లేదు కదా? సెలబ్రేట్ చేసుకుంటారు కదా. ఓకే, going home? How many of you are going home? No one? Only you. Where you are from? Mehboob-Nagar. What's your name? Divya. Okay. So New Year resolutions ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయా? క్లాస్కి రెగ్యులర్గా వద్దామని, రన్నింగ్ నోట్స్ ఖచ్చితంగా రాసుకుందామని, ఇతర రెజల్యూషన్స్ ఏమైనా ఉన్నాయా? నో? Don't worry, I'll tell you why your resolution will fail generally. Okay, don't worry. I've done with this. Generally it happens because motivation don't last long. Okay, then what lasts long? Habits. You must have read the Atomic Habits book. చదివారు? ఎంతమంది విన్నారండి? బుక్ పేరు ఎంతమంది విన్నారు చెప్పండి? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good number of the people. Nice. How many of you read at least one page? At least one page. 1, 2. Lokpal, and what's your name? Joshna. Where are you from, Joshna? మీరు ఇద్దరు పాలిటీ క్లాస్కి అటెండ్ అయ్యారు కదా? ఎస్. అప్పుడు మర్చిపోయి ఉంటాయి కావచ్చు వేర్ యూ ఆర్ ఫ్రమ్ అని. డన్? ఓకే. సో నౌ we'll discuss about NATO, WTO, World Trade Organizations and all. These things we'll discuss. Of course, WTO organization, you will discuss more detail in economy. ఎకానమీలో మీకు సబ్సిడీస్ ఇవ్వద్దంటారు, గ్రీన్ బాక్స్ సబ్సిడీస్, అంబర్ బాక్స్ సబ్సిడీస్, different box subsidies you will discuss. WTO is all about promoting the fair trade. But do you think that WTO is promoting the fair trade? No. This is always tilting mainly towards the developed countries. Okay. But developing countries ఎవరెవరు ఉండాలి leader? India. India is always struggling or fighting for the cause of developing countries. సో ఈ డెవలపింగ్ కంట్రీస్ అన్నింటిని కలిపి మనకు వరల్డ్లో ఏమంటామంటే గ్లోబల్ సౌత్ అంటాం. వాట్ యూ కాల్ గ్లోబల్ సౌత్. వాట్ విన్నారా మీరు గ్లోబల్ సౌత్? వాట్ యు మీన్ గ్లోబల్ సౌత్? థర్డ్ వరల్డ్ కంట్రీస్ మీన్స్ గ్లోబల్ సౌత్. దట్ ఈస్ నాన్ అలైన్మెంట్ మూమెంట్. గ్లోబల్ సౌత్ అన్న వర్డ్ విన్నారు కదా, వింటే అదేంటి చెప్పండి. వాట్స్ యువర్ నేమ్? విజయ్. వేర్ యూ ఫ్రమ్ విజయ్? వైజాగ్. చాలామంది ఉన్నారు వైజాగ్. హౌ మెనీ ఆర్ ఫ్రమ్ వైజాగ్? ఏపీ ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ క్యాపిటల్ వైజాగ్లో 1 2 3 4 4 ఇంకెవరు ఉన్నారా? దట్స్ ఇట్. గుడ్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్ ఫ్రమ్ వైజాగ్. టెల్ మీ విజయ్. గ్లోబల్ సౌత్ అంటే ఏంటి? వాట్స్ యువర్ నేమ్? విజయ్ బిసైడ్. ఎస్ మీరే. వాట్స్ యువర్ నేమ్? షరీఫ్. వేర్ యూ ఫ్రమ్ షరీఫ్? ఓకే, వైజాగ్ అయిపోయింది, ఇప్పుడు విజయవాడ. వెరీ గుడ్. టెల్ మీ షరీఫ్, అసలు గ్లోబల్ సౌత్ అన్న వర్డ్ విన్నారా? విన్నట్టు అనిపించింది ఎక్కడన్నా? వినకపోతే పర్లేదు, వదిలేసేసాను. నాట్ హర్డ్ అబౌట్ ఇట్. ఎనీవన్? యా చెప్పండి లోక్పాల్. ఎస్, పార్షియల్లీ రైట్. జనరల్లీ you know that there are developed countries, developing countries and underdeveloped countries. Okay, majority of the underdeveloped countries and developing countries, they are present south of the equator, majority, except Australia and New Zealand. Majority of the developed countries, they are present in north, except China. Okay, so the countries which are present in south, which are developing countries and underdeveloped countries, that is known as what? That is known as global south. Okay, okay, fine. Now you might have seen this. Last, are you able to see? So this is a line which separating the developed countries and underdeveloped countries. In this line, the exception is Australia and New Zealand. Okay, I mean this is imaginary one. You can't see, like where this line is. So this is about the global south. So now India is representing the global south in many platforms. India is acting and India is promoting the interests of the global south, especially in platforms like G20 and all these things. Okay, and of course these are some of the NCERT books. So if any one of you starts with NCERT 12, okay, contemporary world politics, meeku reference books kavalananukuనే వాళ్ళు, and obviously current affairs, and then so international relations by, so this అంత ఇంత మీకు అవసరం లేదు unless until you are into specialized in IR. Apart from that, మీరు contemporary world politics, NCERT 12th class book, current affairs, and whatever the handouts given by me or dictated notes in class, these are enough for you. So with this, for last 1 hour or so, we done with the details of the entire syllabus and the reference books as well. Are we clear about this? For the last 1 hour or so, if you have any general doubts regarding the IR, ask me. Then we will start with the IR terminology. Terminology guరించి start చేద్దాం మనం. Okay, so if you have any doubts, ask me guys for the last 1 hour. Are we clear? At least tell me, అర్థమైందా లాస్ట్ 1 hour ఏమేమి డిస్కస్ చేస్తామనేది? ఎస్ ఆర్ నో? ఎస్. ఓకే, క్లాస్లో కొద్దిగా యాక్టివ్గా పార్టిసిపేట్ చేయండి గైస్. ఓకే, ఏదో వచ్చాము వెళ్ళాము విన్నాము అన్నట్టు కాకుండా ట్రై టు బి అటెంటివ్. సో ఫస్ట్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు డిస్కస్ అబౌట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ టెర్మినాలజీ స్టూడెంట్స్. సిలబస్ ఆల్రెడీ మీకు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తున్నాను. నేను మీకు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసిన తర్వాత నోట్స్ ఇస్తాను. యూ డోంట్ నీడ్ ఇక్కడ చూసి మీరు రాయాల్సినంత స్ట్రెస్ ఏం తీసుకోకుండా ఐ డిక్టేట్ ద నోట్స్. ఫస్ట్ విల్ స్టార్ట్ విత్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ స్టేట్. State. Okay, tell me guys, what is the difference between the state and nation? So India is a state or nation? Tell me in your perspective. India is a nation in building. State already built. Okay, tell. Yes, very good. Yeah. Any other views? Difference between the state and nation? Sharif, tell me. State nation difference.
Nation is having
only one religion. So India is not a nation now. So India is not a nation. State. Common territory means? Defined territory. So Palestine is a nation or state? Is not state? Yes, very, very important. Exactly. State, a territory which is recognized by the international community. That is known as state. A territory which is recognized by international community. That is known as what? State. Okay. Recognized by international community means generally UNO. That is known as state. State. A sovereign territory. A sovereign territory. A sovereign territory which is recognized by international community, which is recognized by international community. Very, very important. Yes, very good. Online ఒక్క స్టూడెంట్ తప్ప మీద ఎవరు ఆన్సర్ చేయట్లేదు అబ్బాయి. It's very pathetic, yeah. Online students, rest of you guys try to answer, yeah. So sovereign territory which is recognized by international community. సో ఇప్పుడు పాలస్తీనా ఇంటర్నేషనల్ కమ్యూనిటీ రికగ్నైజ్ చేసిందా? చేయలేదు. యుఎన్ వాళ్ళ మెంబర్షిప్ ఉందా? లేదు. సో కెన్ వి సే పాలస్తీన్ ఇస్ ఎ స్టేట్? నో, పాలస్తీన్ ఇస్ నాట్ ఎ స్టేట్. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఏ స్టేట్. ఓకే. సో అందుకోసం మనం ఐఆర్లో చదువుతుంటాం ఏంటంటే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇండియా రికగ్నైజ్డ్ చైనా as a sovereign country. India recognized Maldives as a sovereign country. That means India is recognizing means like India is also be a part of international community which recognize that country anamata. So international recognition is very, very important to be called as state. So India obviously recognized by international community, and India also got the membership in the UNO itself. You all know that India was a founding member of the UNO. Next, nation. Nation is all about a common identity. Common identity. So can we say India is a nation? Obviously, all of us having the common identity of Indian. Yes or no? Manandaram kuda Indians an identity unda leda manaki? Yes. Okay, that's the nation. If you see nation in perspective of common identity in terms of religion, we may not be the nation because we have different identities. If you identify yourself as with the language, we may not be the nation because we are having different languages. How yourself are identifying, that is about the nation. Okay, common group of people, they are known as a nation. So if you think that if you identify yourself with others as Indian, then obviously India is a nation. Manandaram kuda Indians anta India lo unna vallandaru Indians e kada. If you think in that way, India is a nation. But if you identify yourself as a Hindu, then India is not a nation. Okay, because we have different other nationalities as well, other identities as well. Okay, so nation is about the common identity, and state is a sovereign territory which is recognized by international community. Then what do you mean sovereign? Sovereign. Okay, that's very good, students. Sovereign is all about a country which is able to take its internal decisions as well as the external decisions on its own. Okay, country internal decisions, external decisions own ga తీసుకునే పవర్స్ ఉంటే దాన్ని మనం సావరీన్ అంటాం. A country which is able to take its internal and external decisions independently. So we can say that India is a sovereign country because India is able to take its decisions independently, both in terms of internally as well as in terms of the externally. That we have to understand. In case if we have only the internal freedom, not having the external freedom, then that is known as what? Dominion status. What you call dominion status. You know that, guys. Britishers initially they're ready to give dominion status to India, but we demanded the complete independence, sovereign state. Okay. Of course, in the Nehru report in 1928, we accepted with the dominion status, but later on we changed our view. You know that, yeah. Are we clear about these three words? Okay. State, nation, sovereign. Okay, these are three words. State is about the territory, a sovereign territory which is recognized by the international community. Nation is about the, like how you are identifying yourself, like a common identity. And the sovereign means if a country is able to take its decision independently, that is known as sovereign. Okay, and next one more thing you have to understand, that is the foreign policy. Foreign policy. Okay, so you have to understand. So what is the foreign policy? Foreign policy is all about a policy which is promoting a country's interest, a country's national interest, that is known as foreign policy. Write down foreign policy. It is a policy which promotes a country's national interest. Okay, you know that, guys. Our foreign policy will promote our national interest. Some other country foreign policy will promote their national interest. When our national interest and some other country national interest is conflicting, then disputes will come out. We all know that in World War II, German interest and Russian interest, they, so they obviously they got conflict. That is the reason, they got a war. The same thing with the Germany as well as the France and Belgium. Their national interest got conflicted. That is the reason war erupted. Okay. So now these are some of the basics, and you all know that, Indian foreign policy implemented by diplomats. Okay, foreign policy implemented by diplomats. Okay. So now first we'll discuss about the superpower. Okay, superpower. First let me explain some sequence. Students, World War I, you all know that duration between 1914 to 1918. After that, League of Nations was established. League of Nations. Which year, guys? 1919. League of Nations. League of Nations అనేది ఒక ఆర్గనైజేషన్. ఓకే, ఈ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ యొక్క మెయిన్ పర్పస్ ఏంటంటే, ద మెయిన్ పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ ద లీగ్ ఆఫ్ నేషన్ ఈస్ టు అవాయిడ్ అనదర్ వరల్డ్ వార్. అంటే వరల్డ్లో ఇంకొక మళ్ళీ వరల్డ్ వార్ జరగకుండా ఉండాలని చెప్పేసి లీగ్ ఆఫ్ నేషన్స్, ఇట్ వాస్ ప్రపోజ్డ్ బై ద వుడ్రో విల్సన్. ఎవరు ప్రపోజ్ చేశారు? వుడ్రో విల్సన్. వుడ్రో విల్సన్ వాజ్ ద ఎస్ట్వైల్ అమెరికన్ ప్రెసిడెంట్ వుడ్రో విల్సన్. హీ ప్రపోజ్ దిస్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ లీగ్ ఆఫ్ నేషన్స్. ఇక 1919లో, ఇంకా 1919లో ఏమైనా జరిగిన ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఏమైనా ఉందా? 1919లో Treaty of Versailles. Vijay, you are saying that? ఏం చెప్పారు ఇప్పుడు ఇందాక మీరు? Yes, very good, excellent. Montecchio reforms 1919, Rowlatt Act 1919, and Jallianwala Bagh incident, Khilafat movement, International Labour Organization ILO 1919. ఇవి కాకుండా ఇంకేమున్నాయా? 1917 అండి. పర్లేదు, యూఆర్ ప్రెటీ మచ్ క్లోజ్. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ మళ్ళీ ట్రై చేయండి. 1917 అని చెప్తే కరెక్ట్. సో లీగ్ ఆఫ్ నేషన్స్ ప్రపోజ్ బై వుడ్రో విల్సన్, బట్ దిస్ వాస్ ఫెయిల్డ్. ఎందుకు ఫెయిల్ అయిందని చెప్పొచ్చు మనం లీగ్ ఆఫ్ నేషన్స్? ఎందుకంటే వరల్డ్ వార్ II వచ్చింది కాబట్టి. వాట్ ఈస్ ద మెయిన్ పర్పస్ ఆఫ్ ద లీగ్ ఆఫ్ నేషన్స్? టు అవాయిడ్ అనదర్ వరల్డ్ వార్. సో బట్ వీ కెన్ సే దట్ లీగ్ ఆఫ్ నేషన్ ఈజ్ ఎ ప్రీకర్సర్ ఆఫ్ ద UNO. Okay, that means League of Nation later developed into what? UNO. So we can say that it was a precursor or early form of the UNO, we can say it. Okay, League of Nations 1919. League of Nations తర్వాత obviously you know that World War II 1939 to 1945, and after World War II, okay, there are two things. Okay, so in terms of one is one organization, UNO. The another thing happened after the World War II. It was the Cold War. So Cold War started in 1945 and it continued. And a Cold War mainly between the USA versus USSR. Okay, Cold War. సో ఇప్పుడు కోల్డ్ వార్లో పవర్ అంటే కంట్రీస్ అన్నీ కూడా వరల్డ్లో ఉన్న కంట్రీస్ అన్నీ కూడా ఈదర్ యూ హ్యావ్ టువర్డ్స్ ద అమెరికా క్యాపిటలిజం ఆర్ యూ హ్యావ్ టువర్డ్స్ ద సోషలిజం. దట్ మీన్స్ ద communism. World divided into two ideas. Okay, communism versus like capitalism, or communism versus democracy, in that way divided. Now when this kind of division was happened, this condition is known as what? In world, power is distributed between two poles. This condition is known as bipolarity. What do you call? Bipolarity. In this bipolarity, only two countries were the two powerful countries are there, USA and USSR. These two powerful countries are known as superpowers. What do you call? Superpowers. సో ఇప్పుడు మనం సూపర్ పవర్స్ అన్నది జనరల్గా ఏ కాంటెక్స్ట్లో యూజ్ చేస్తుంటాం? సూపర్ పవర్ జనరల్లీ ద వర్డ్ సూపర్ పవర్ జనరల్లీ వి యూజ్ డ్యూరింగ్ ద కోల్డ్ వార్ applies to USA as well as the Soviet Union. That is the reason. We are discussing about this. USA and USSR. Okay. So USA and USSR bipolar world, and this continued till USSR disintegration. USSR got breakdown. Okay. After USSR was breaking down, again USA hegemony. USA become the unparalleled powers. USA become the unparalleled power and matching country లేదు అసలు US power ని మ్యాచ్ చేసే కంట్రీ. Hegemony means super dominance of the USA. 1990s and early 2000s. So the world became unipolar. అంటే only one powerful center. Unipolar. Now some people say that now again world become the bipolar. మళ్ళీ వరల్డ్ బైపోలర్ అయింది యుఎస్ అండ్ చైనా. కొంతమంది ఎక్స్పర్ట్ చెప్పేది ఇదనమాట. సమ్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్ సేస్ దిస్. సమ్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్ సే దట్ వరల్డ్ బికేమ్ మల్టీపోలార్. దట్ మీన్స్ నౌ the power is distributed with so many countries. India, Brazil, Germany, Japan, like the multiple powerful countries are there. This is about the scholar's opinion. Okay. So with which opinion do you agree? Now the world is the bipolar or multipolar? Yes, in certain aspect it is bipolar, and in some other aspect it is a multipolar. It depends. We can't say that it's all multipolar or all bipolar. It depends on conditions as well. Okay. Online students, other students also try to answer, guys. Okay. The live lo active ga undandi. Write down superpowers. Take this heading. Superpowers. These are two powerful countries. USA and USSR. During the Cold War period. Okay. Next, let me explain. Middle East peace process. ఇది కూడా మీకు అంటే ఇప్పుడు చెప్పే వర్డ్స్ అన్నీ కూడా all these are the basics of IR, guys. Okay, basics. Middle East peace process. Okay. Actually first you have to know Middle East means what. అసలు ఏ రీజన్ ని మనం మిడిల్ ఈస్ట్ అంటామని చెప్పేసి. Tell me, guys. So which region generally we consider as a Middle East? Okay, Arab Peninsula as well as the neighboring countries. దీన్ని మనం మిడిల్ ఈస్ట్ అంటాం. అరబ్ పెనిన్సులా అంటే మనకి అరబ్ పెనిన్సులాలో ఏమేమి ఉంటాయి? సౌదీ అరేబియా, UAE, Oman, Yemen, and Bahrain is nearby, and Kuwait. Okay, Qatar is also nearby, and this is added with the Iran as well as Iraq. This is Middle East, and which includes the Syria and Lebanon and Jordan, Palestine and Israel. This is all about the Egypt kadante, Egypt mali Africa kada. So this is all about the Middle East. Okay, Middle East peace process. You know that there are always conflict in the Middle East. Okay, the fight between the Iran and Iraq, the fight between the Israel and Palestine we are seeing, and the fight between some other factions, like Saudi and Iran. So when these fights are going on, obviously some peace process also will be initiated. అవునా కదా, ఈ వార్ని తగ్గించడానికి కోసం అని చెప్పేసి. సో ఆ పీస్ ప్రాసెస్ మనం ఏమంటామంటే మిడిల్ ఈస్ట్ పీస్ ప్రాసెస్ అంటాం. ఓకే, సో మిడిల్ ఈస్ట్ పీస్ ప్రాసెస్ ఇస్ ఆల్ అబౌట్. సో మిడిల్ ఈస్ట్ పీస్ ప్రాసెస్ ఇస్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ ఓకే ఇజ్రాయెల్ పాలస్తీనా conflicts and other conflicts in the Middle East and how to solve them. The process of solving this conflict is known as Middle East peace process. Okay, write down Middle East peace process. It deals with progress of peace. It deals with progress of peace in the Middle East region. Progress of peace in the Middle East region. Especially between Israel and Palestine. Especially between Israel and Palestine. Okay. Next. So we covered this. So next one is about the fair trades. This is related to economy part of your, like international relations. Fair trades. Tell me students, what do you mean fair trades? It should be no tariff barriers or not non-tariff barriers anyhow. So S. Any other views? What do you mean fair trades? Fair trades, what does it mean?
Which does not arise conflicts.
Generally a trade which follows the international rules, that is known as fair trades. మనం ఇంటర్నేషనల్ రూల్స్ని ఫాలో అయ్యి ట్రేడ్ చేసామనుకోండి, దాన్ని మనం ఫెయిర్ ట్రేడ్ అంటాం. విచ్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ ఈస్ ఎంకరేజింగ్ ద ఫెయిర్ ట్రేడ్స్? WTO is encouraging the fair trade, and before the WTO we used to have GATT, okay, General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, that used to be there. Okay, now write down fair trades. It is all about fair trades. It is all about following. It is all about following international trade laws. International trade laws. So that one country is not discriminated. Against another country. One country is not discriminated against another country. One country is not discriminated against another country. Okay, this is about the fair trade. Next one is about the strategic autonomy. Have heard about this word? Strategic autonomy. If yes, tell me, what do you mean strategic autonomy? What do you mean strategic autonomy? You want to tell? Yes. What's your name? Where are you from, Kavita? Hyderabad only. Where in Hyderabad? Kukatpalli only. Okay. Tell me. Strategic autonomy. That is strategic place you are talking about. Yes. Strategically important area. You are absolutely right. Now strategic autonomy. దీని గురించి చెప్పండి ఇప్పుడు. So can you say Kukatpalli is strategically located? No. Why? It's not important.
It's not that, because it's not border area.
So border areas is strategically important.
Northeast is strategically important area.
Okay. Telangana is not strategically important. Andhra Pradesh? Okay, coast areas. Now, any other views? Strategic autonomy? Strategic autonomy in the example చెప్పండి. Maldives, Thailand ఇట్లాంటివి కాదు చెప్పండి అమ్మా. What's your name? Vamshi? Okay, Vamshi Lata. Where you are from? You are from Hyderabad only. Where in Hyderabad? ఏంటమ్మా అది ఎక్కడ? అమీర్పేట తర్వాత ఎస్ఆర్ నగర్ కదా, మధ్యలో మోతీనగర్ ఉంటుందా? ఓకే, ఇదంతా కలిపి మోతీనగర్. యా, టెల్ మీ. సో వంశీలత, యా, యు ఆర్ సేయింగ్ సంథింగ్. ఎస్, యు ఆర్ రైట్, ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఆల్. టెల్ మీ. ఎగ్జాంపుల్. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ స్ట్రాటజిక్ అటానమీకి ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇవ్వండి. So strategic autonomy is all about being and taking autonomous decision in the best interest of the country. Taking independent decision in the best interest of the country. For example, you all know that we had Quad formed with America, yes or no? At the same time, we are buying the oil from the Russia because strategically that is very, very less expensive. So here India is acting like autonomously or not? Are we depending on any other country? No. So if one country is acting independently by considering its strategic interest, that is known as strategic autonomy. Pradhamenti kada? Even America opposed India buying this S-400 anti-missile system from Russia, but still India bought. Even the oil from the Russia also we bought it. Okay? So these are all about the strategic autonomy. Ante India ki ఏది మంచిగా అనిపిస్తే మనం ఇండిపెండెంట్గా ఆ డెసిషన్ తీసుకుంటాం అనమాట. వి డోంట్ గో డౌన్ విత్ ద ఇంటర్నేషనల్ ప్రెషర్ జస్ట్ బికాస్ అమెరికా ఇస్ సేయింగ్ సంథింగ్. ఓకే, ఈవెన్ దో ఇట్ ఈస్ అగైన్స్ట్ ఇండియా, వి డోంట్ ఫాలో దట్. దట్ ఈస్ నోన్ as strategic autonomy. So when you will have a strategic autonomy, when you have a complete sovereignty, when you have a complete independence, when you have a complete independence both internally as well as externally, then only you can take the independent decision. Are you able to understand? Now write down strategic autonomy. If a country is able to take independent decisions in the best interest of their country, in the best interest of that country, it is called as, in the best interest of their country, it is called as strategic autonomy. It is called as strategic autonomy. Okay. Example. While India is in Quad, Quad capital letters రాసుకోండి, QUAD. While India is in Quad, it is still maintaining good relation with Russia. It is still maintaining good relation with Russia. In the best interest of the country or in the best interest of the nation. దీని స్ట్రాటజిక్ అటానమీ అంటారు అనమాట. ఓకే, సి స్ట్రాటజిక్ అటానమీ అని న్యూస్లో ఏమైనా వచ్చిందో చూద్దాం ఒకసారి. See here, just now we learned about these two words and it is in this article. India between superpowers. During the Cold War, what are the superpowers? USSR and USA. Now the superpowers are China and USA. Okay, of course, even though it is a Russia photo, now superpowers became the China and USA. And between two superpowers, India is maintaining what? Strategic autonomy. That is very important, guys. As tensions are escalating between the US and China, India's long-standing policy of strategic autonomy is increasingly under strain. It is subjected to a lot of stress, strain, being independent. Strategic autonomy is all about what? Being independent. So, if you really go through all this terminology, the ability of your understanding regarding the IR news articles, IR editorials, it will be improved a lot. Are we clear about this? And I'll give handout also on this terminology. Detailed handout, I'll give it for print and they'll give you handouts. Okay, don't worry about this. Along with my dictated notes. Next we'll discuss about the strategic dialogue. Strategic autonomy అయిపోయింది ఇప్పుడు మనకి strategic dialogue. Strategic dialogue. Tell me guys, what do you mean strategic dialogue? Strategic dialogue. విన్నారా strategic dialogue? First tell me, what do you mean dialogue? Talks మాట్లాడుకోవడం. స్ట్రాటజిక్ డైలాగ్ అంటే మరి స్ట్రాటజికల్గా మాట్లాడుకోవడమా? ఎస్, అంతే కదా. స్ట్రాటజిక్ డైలాగ్ ఈజ్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ హ్యావింగ్ ద కమ్యూనికేషన్ విత్ ద highly important, highly sensitive communication between the two nations, that is known as what? Strategic dialogue. As simple as it. Okay, write down. It is a communication between two nations which is highly sensitive and which consists of matters of national security, స్ట్రాటజిక్ డైలాగ్. ఓకే, సో మీకు ఎలా స్ట్రాటజిక్ డైలాగ్ వచ్చింది కాబట్టి నెక్స్ట్ ఏం చెప్దామంటే మనం కొన్ని కంట్రీస్తోని విత్ ఫ్యూ కంట్రీస్ లిజన్ గైస్, విత్ ఫ్యూ కంట్రీస్ we maintain very good relation with few countries. Okay, with those countries generally our foreign minister and our defense minister, they speak the counterpart with their foreign minister, their defense minister very regularly. That type of discussion is known as 2+2 talks. What do you call 2+2 talks? I've heard about this. 2+2 talks. Take the heading 2+2 talks. ఇండియాకి ఏ కంట్రీతో 2+2 టాక్స్ ఉన్నాయో చెప్తారా? రష్యా నెంబర్ 1. నెక్స్ట్ చైనా, నో. యుఎస్ఏ. నెక్స్ట్ నేపాల్, భూటాన్, నో. విత్ ఓన్లీ మేజర్ కంట్రీస్ 2+2 టాక్స్ ఉంటాయి. యుఎస్ఏ, ఆస్ట్రేలియా, జపాన్, ఓకే, రష్యా అండ్ యూకే. With these countries we are having the 2+2 talks. Okay, 2+2 talks. Write down 2+2 talks. It is a strategic dialogue between two nations which involves. It is a strategic dialogue between two nations. Yes, online students, you are right. It is a strategic dialogue between two nations which involves defense minister and foreign minister, from both nations, which involves the defense minister and foreign minister from both nations. Next, take this heading: national interest. Okay, tell me guys, what do you mean national interest? Okay, fine, very good. Any other views? National interest. చెప్పండి, అంటే సింపుల్. నేషనల్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అంటే ఏంటి? పీపుల్స్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్. ఏంటి పీపుల్స్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్? foreign decisions. Sharif, tell me, national interest means what? There must be judicial capital in Rayalaseema, that is our national interest. Yeah. What do you mean national interest, guys? National interest is all about a country's priorities. ఒక కంట్రీ ఏం అచీవ్ చేద్దాం అనుకుంటుంది అండ్ బెనిఫిట్స్, ఓకే, ద అడ్వాంటేజ్, ద బెనిఫిట్స్ ఆఫ్ ఎ కంట్రీ ఈజ్ నథింగ్ బట్ నేషనల్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్. హూ విల్ ప్రమోట్ అవర్ నేషనల్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్? అవర్ ఫారిన్ పాలసీ. ఓకే, అంటే మనం ఏం సాధిద్దాం అనుకున్నాం, సో వాట్ వీ వాంట్ టు అచీవ్, దట్ ఈస్ అబౌట్ అవర్ నేషనల్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్. అవర్ నేషనల్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ విల్ బి ప్రమోటెడ్ బై అవర్ ఫారిన్ పాలసీ. Our foreign policy is executed by our diplomats. So when you want to be a future diplomat, already you should know about these things. What is India's national interest? What India wanted to promote in Europe and Middle East and all these things. Okay? Now, write down. National interest. National interest. It is about goals and objectives. It is about goals and objectives. It is about goals and objectives. A state. It is about goals and objectives. A state wanted to achieve. A state wanted to achieve in international relations. A state wanted to achieve in international relations. In international relations. In international relations. So this is about national interest. And write down continuation. A country's national interest. A country's national interest. A country's national interest. A country's national interest is promoted through. A country's national interest is promoted through its foreign policy. Promoted through its foreign policy. Promoted through its foreign policy. Foreign policy. Okay. And next, tell me guys, what do you mean power? It's a powerful person, powerful country antam kada. What do you mean power? Electricity. Decision maker. No. Capability to achieve something. That is known as capacity. Yeah? As the power is all about what? Ability to influence others for your own advantage. అంటే మన ప్రయోజనం కోసం వేరే వాళ్ళని ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ చేసే పవర్నే మనం పవర్ అంటాం. ఆర్ వి క్లియర్ అబౌట్ దిస్? పవర్ ఈజ్ అబౌట్ ద ఎబిలిటీ టు ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ అదర్ కంట్రీస్ ఇన్ ద బెస్ట్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ అవర్ నేషనల్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్. That is about power. Okay, then how can you influence other country? Yes, we are going to that topic. Okay, so now listen guys, power is all about ability to influence other country. మనం వేరే కంట్రీని రెండు విధాలుగా ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ చేయొచ్చు. ఓకే, ఆర్ ఎల్స్ యూ కెన్ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ యువర్ ఫ్రెండ్ ఆల్సో ఆర్ ఎనీ వన్ ఇన్ 2 ways. ఈదర్ బై ఫియర్, మనం అటాక్ చేస్తామని చెప్తే మనం ఏదైనా వాళ్ళని అబ్యూస్గానో లేకపోతే వాళ్ళని ఏదైనా థ్రెటన్ చేసి భయపెట్టచ్చు, అవునా కదా? Through fear you can influence someone, okay, or through fear you can influence other country, like we will attack them, that country, or else by declaring a war on them. Okay, so if you are able to influence a country by using military, మనం మిలిటరీ యూజ్ చేసి ఏదైనా కంట్రీని ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ చేద్దామంటే దాన్ని మనం హార్డ్ పవర్ అంటాం. వాట్ యు కాల్ హార్డ్ పవర్. హార్డ్ పవర్ ఈజ్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ యూజింగ్ మిలిటరీ and using any defensive methods to influence other countries. Nowadays, hard power is outdated. Okay, no country is following much. What are the other ways we can influence the country? By helping. Okay, by helping. For example, so India helped to Maldives during the COVID time. This Operation Sanjeevani, we sent this like vaccines to them, and recently Egypt, when they are not getting the wheat because of the Black Sea grain deal, because like they should get the wheat from where? Russia and Ukraine. That wheat has to pass through Black Sea. That Black Sea transportation got that block, okay, because of this war, Russia Ukraine war వల్ల ఏమైంది, అది మొత్తం బ్లాక్ అయిపోయింది కదా, ఈజిప్ట్కి రావాల్సిన వీట్ అనేది రాలేదు. సో ఇండియా హెల్ప్ టు దెమ్, that is soft power. Okay, so and for example SAARC countries, you all know that SAARC countries are the neighboring nations. India sent SAARC satellite which can be used by all the SAARC countries. So you are helping, through helping you are influencing your neighbors, that is known as what? Soft power. Soft power. Obviously if you are using both hard power and soft power, it is known as smart power. Using both these things, smart power. So power is all about the ability to influence other countries. How you are influencing other countries, based on what kind of force you are using. Based on that we have three powers: hard power, soft power and smart power. Okay, now take the heading power. Power. SAARC satellite. Yes, for example we are using the Buddhist tradition between the India and Sri Lanka. When a prime minister is going, okay, he is visiting the important places related to Buddhism, and he is like giving in a speech like the relation between the India and Sri Lanka from since the Ashoka time. You know that, yeah, Ashoka sent his daughter and son to spread the Buddhism to Sri Lanka. So we are remembering our cultural ties between the India and Sri Lanka. That is about the soft power or hard power? Soft power. Smart power is both, like sometimes. Example, it may be, yes, like he said, China, we had a war, as well as we are having the cultural relations with China. Even with Pakistan also, we had a war, and our, like Vajpayee has a bus tour with Pakistan to improve the connection between the people to people connectivity. Are you understanding? As even Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan from Pakistan, we given the Bharat Ratna as well. Or Morarji Desai, he was given the Nishane-Pakistan, highest award of Pakistan. So to improve the relation between the people to people, that is known as soft power. Going for war against a country known as hard power. So we had this with Pakistan as well as the China. Are you clear, Rupesh? Adhaminda? Alija Pala? Okay, very good. Right on. Power. Power. It is the ability of a country. It is the ability of a country to influence others. It is the ability of a country to influence others. Influence others. Next point. Based on how the power is exercised. Based on how the power is exercised by a country. Based on how a power is exercised by a country. Based on how a power is exercised by a country, we can classify the countries into hard power, second one soft power, and third one is the smart power, soft power. First heading hard power. Take explanation. The ability to influence others. Hard power. The ability to influence others. The ability to influence others through force. The ability to influence others through force. Next, soft power. The ability to influence other country through cultural values. The ability to influence other countries through cultural value, diplomacy, economic aids, rather than rather than force. Rather than force. Rather than force. Value addition note. Note. This concept was popularized by. This concept was popularized by. This concept was popularized by. This concept was popularized by Joseph Nye. NYE, sorry. Joseph Nye. He was a political thinker. Joseph Nye. గుర్తుపెట్టుకుంటే బెటర్. ఇట్స్ లైక్ వాల్యూ అడిషన్. గుర్తుపెట్టుకోకపోయినా పర్లేదు. నెక్స్ట్ హెడింగ్ స్మార్ట్ పవర్. స్మార్ట్ పవర్. Smart power. It is a mix of. It is a mix of. It is a mix of both hard power and soft power, based on the occasion. Okay, based on the occasion. That's it, students. So a few more concepts are there in terminology. We have to discuss about what is the meaning of deterrence. Deterrence. What is the meaning of strategic restraint, and mutually assured deterrence. Arms race. What is the meaning of totalitarian government? Koni terminologies that we will discuss in the next class. Are we clear about this?